was alone that week. My parents had gone to another city for work. They packed lightly, locked everything, and reminded me to keep my phone charged. I remember watching them leave from the balcony, waving until the car turned the corner. The house felt larger immediately. Not lonely, just open. The first 2 days passed normally. I slept late, ate whenever I wanted, studied a little, wasted time online. Nothing strange happened. That's important. On the third night, I woke up because the house felt different. Not noisy, not scary, aware. Like when you enter a room and suddenly feel like a conversation just stopped. I lay still, listening. The ceiling fan hummed, a dog barked far away, everything normal. I told myself I was imagining it and turned over. That's when I heard movement downstairs. Not footsteps, something slower, like someone adjusting their weight. I held my breath. The sound stopped immediately. I waited. Minutes passed. Nothing. I convinced myself it was the house settling and fell asleep again. The next morning, I noticed the kitchen chair wasn't pushed in. I always push it in. I stared at it longer than necessary, then fixed it and moved on.
That day, I kept feeling like I was being gently interrupted. I'd enter a room and forget why, open my phone and feel like I'd just closed something important, hear my name in my head without sound. That night, I locked my bedroom door. I don't usually do that. At 2:07 a.m., I woke up again. This time, I knew why. There was pressure on the door handle, not turning it, resting on it, as if someone was leaning there, listening. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. After a long time, the pressure lifted. Then came footsteps, slow, careful, retreating. I stayed awake until morning. The next day, I checked every lock, every window. Nothing was disturbed. I told myself something important. If someone was here, they would leave signs. That logic calmed me until evening. I was brushing my teeth when I noticed something in the mirror. The hallway light behind me was on. I hadn't turned it on. I stood there, toothbrush frozen in my mouth, staring at the reflection. I didn't turn around. When I finally did, the hallway was empty, but the air felt recently used. That night, I slept with my lamp on. At some point, I felt something wake me. Not a sound, a presence. I opened my eyes. The lamp was off. I don't remember turning it off. I lay there, staring at the dark ceiling, heart racing. Then, I realized something worse. The darkness wasn't complete. There was a shape blocking it. Someone standing between me and the light from the window. They weren't moving. They weren't breathing. They were just there. I squeezed my eyes shut. When I opened them again, the shape was gone. Morning came. I decided I was leaving. I packed a bag, called my parents, and told them I felt sick. They said they'd return the next evening.
As I walked toward the front door, I noticed a small detail that stopped me. My shoes were moved. Not stolen, not messy, just placed neatly side by side, facing inward, as if someone had adjusted them after I last wore them. My phone buzzed. A message from my mom. "Don't forget to lock the house when you leave." I I stared at it because I hadn't told her I was leaving yet. I slowly turned around. The house was quiet. Too quiet. That's when it finally clicked. The house never felt empty because it wasn't waiting for me to leave. It was waiting for me to notice. It began with my voice. I live alone, so hearing my own voice in the house should have been impossible. That's what I told myself. The first time, I was half asleep. I heard my name spoken softly, like someone testing how it sounded. I assumed I was dreaming. The second time, I was awake. I was in the kitchen when I heard it behind me. My voice, same tone, same pace, calling my name. I turned around so fast I nearly dropped the glass in my hand. Nothing. I laughed nervously and blamed stress. That was my mistake. Over the next few days, it happened more often, always when I wasn't looking. That night, I finally spoke. "Who are you?" I asked the empty room. My voice answered back instantly. "Why are you pretending you don't know?" I backed away, shaking. "I live here," I said. A pause, then my voice again. "You stay here." I locked myself in the bathroom and sat on the floor until morning. Always from another room, never loud, like whoever was speaking didn't want to scare me, just wanted my attention. I started recording audio at night. Nothing showed up, but I kept feeling interrupted. I'd think a thought and then hear it repeated back to me later, not immediately, hours later, out of context. That's when fear crept in. One night I heard my voice whisper, "Don't turn around yet." I froze, because that was exactly what I had just thought. I stopped sleeping. I started checking reflections, corners, shadows. I avoided mirrors. Then one evening I heard myself laughing from the bedroom. I wasn't laughing. I wasn't even near the bedroom. I stood in the hallway, heart pounding, listening to my own laughter fade into silence. The next day, I noticed something deeply unsettling. My phone gallery had new photos, blurry ones, taken inside my house. Angles I never used. Photos of me sleeping. Photos of me standing still, staring at nothing. Photos taken from eye level, not hidden, casual, like whoever took them didn't fear being seen. At the bottom of the gallery was a video, dated from the night before. I pressed play. It was me, standing in the living room, talking, practicing my voice, repeating my expressions, my pauses, my mannerisms. Then the video ended with me looking directly into the camera and saying, "You're getting better at staying quiet." I dropped the phone. That night, I heard movement everywhere. Drawers, doors, my own footsteps echoing back at me. Then my voice spoke from right behind me. "You don't need to be afraid anymore." I didn't turn around. I finally understood. It wasn't copying me. It was rehearsing, learning how to replace the part of me that questioned things. Because fear makes noise, and silence makes space. that's the end of tonight's stories. If any of them stayed with you, you know which one. Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe. I'll see you soon.